Hi, everybody. So for this video, we're going to talk about just kind of a general overview of the endocrine system. So let's go ahead and take a look at the organs of the endocrine system, and let's think about what we are trying to do. Now, the endocrine system is a system of long-term control over many different body functions. So we're going to control these many different body functions by secreting chemicals or secreting hormones. So that means we need a place to secrete lots of these chemicals. So our organs here are going to be glands. So we're going to have a distribution of glands throughout the body. Each of these glands is going to be responsible for secreting very particular hormones. Now, we're going to start up here in the brain. So we've got several different glands in the brain, or several different kind of endocrine organs in the brain. We start here in the hypothalamus. Now, remember that the thalamus, and by extension, the hypothalamus, are very important in taking in sensory information from the body to basically figure out what the status of the body is. So do we have the right concentrations of ions? Do we need more? Do we need less? Do we need to change some of these things? So our hypothalamus then is going to be the site of the prelude chemicals that are going to start a bunch of different cascades that are going to allow us to bring all of these different possible numbers, whether it's blood glucose or something like that, and help us get back down to some sort of mean. So that's how we're going to control things. Now, importantly here, these can also all be innervated by the nervous system too. So we have lots of different ways that we can kind of tell these what to secrete, but these are largely just going to be particular glands. Now, underneath the hypothalamus, we will have the pituitary gland. So this one's going to secrete different things. We have the pineal gland. This one's important for maintaining our circadian rhythm. Secretes melatonin. Then on the front of your throat here, we've got our thyroid gland. On the back of it, we've got parathyroid glands. Moving down, we have the thymus, which is going to be very important for growth and development. And this person is an adult, so their thymus is quite small. In a child, it will be quite large. Then we have a little chicken finger down here underneath our stomach. This is our pancreas. And we also have these little hats on top of our kidneys. Those are going to be our adrenal glands. And then we, of course, also have our sex organs, or our gonads anyway. So we have our ovaries in females and the testes in males. So what these are then is these are a series of ductless glands. So we don't have a duct secreting things onto a surface or into a lumen or anything like that. Instead, we're going to secrete these and we're going to allow them to diffuse or secrete them near capillaries so they can be absorbed by the blood. So the blood can then transport them throughout the body. So this is not a system of control like the nervous system where we have a neuron directly attached to a tissue telling it what to do. Instead, we're going to release a hormone into the blood where we are waiting for the blood to cycle around and cycle that blood down to the particular target cell so that we can tell that target what to do. Now you can imagine where this would actually make this process take a lot more time, because if you secrete 100 little pieces of hormone into this one volume of blood, well, the next time that blood gets cycled around, not all of that blood is going to go particularly to the target, so may not have a chance to land on the target cell and be consumed or be used and cause the effect to happen. Instead, only a couple might, which means there are other 49, or I guess other 98, so 98% has to cycle back around until it finds those target cells, until some of them branch off and find those target cells. And we're going to do this over and over again. So because only some of them are going to find those target cells on any given loop, these hormones can last for a very long time in circulation, causing effects over a long period of time. This is very different than a neuron sending a signal to the muscle that says, hey, muscle, move. That's going to happen very, very quickly. The hormones, some of them will act quickly, like in the span of a couple minutes, but some of them are also going to take some time and can continue working for a long period of time. Now, importantly here, we also have very specific receptors on our target cells. This way, only those target cells are going to work. So say we're trying to tell the thyroid to secrete more thyroid hormone. Well, the receptors on those thyroid cells waiting for thyroid stimulating hormone are going to have a specific shape, and they're not going to do their job. They're not going to secrete that thyroid hormone until the thyroid stimulating hormone sends a signal to that cell, says, hey, secrete this. So we are waiting for that kind of lock and key kind of thing. Now, hormones then get transported to target cells either within the blood or released into interstitial fluid where they then move to the blood, or just simply randomly entering the things. So, but we do have to have the hormone bind to the receptors on the target cells in order for them to work. So that's really what this is about. This is about secreting particular keys that are going to fit into particular locks in very particular tissues. So this is one way that the brain can send a signal or the anterior pituitary can secrete a signal that says, hey, tissue down in the fingertips, you do this thing now, in a way that's not necessarily using just a nerve, which is a direct connection there. Also importantly here, we can send a signal to lots of different cells, even though those cells may be distributed throughout the body in lots of different places. As long as those cells have a receptor for that particular hormone, they can respond to it. So most of our cells, or a lot of our cells, will have receptors on them that will respond to things like insulin to allow us to say, hey, insulin's here, why don't you take in some glucose from the blood? So we can spread that signal a lot of different places. That's very different from neurons, where we have to have direct connections between the two places. So here in this image, you can kind of see the differences here, where a neuron will directly connect to its target cells, whereas target cells in our system here will be secreted into the blood, or like here is our endocrine gland. So we're going to secrete the blood into the veins, it gets cycled around, gets pushed through the heart, and eventually some of those bits of hormone may find their way to their particular target. Now, what are some of the things that we can regulate using hormones? So hormones can allow us to regulate anything from growth and development. So we have growth hormones that allow us to grow and tell us how much to grow. Sometimes when levels are low, someone may not grow as much. If levels are high, they may grow more. So they manipulate growth and development of our tissues, growth and development of our bodies. They also help regulate metabolism, so metabolic rates, whether it's building or breaking. So metabolic rates are also kind of regulated by these things. A lot of the components of our blood composition, so whether it's red blood cell concentrations, platelet concentrations, white blood cells, or glucose, or cholesterol, all these things can be regulated or need to be measured and held within some range. So we're going to hold them within that range or regulate them, maintain homeostasis using these hormones as well. So if we, for instance, want to look at glucose concentrations, so sugar concentrations in the blood, insulin will lower blood sugar concentration. So if you eat a candy bar, your blood sugar goes up. You'll then secrete insulin. That insulin tells the sugar to get taken up by your cells. So you're able to bring it back down to the level where we want our blood sugar to stay. It's also very important in controlling our digestive processes. So making sure that, hey, we can digest our food the way that we need to. Or say we're eating a bunch of food, we need to get rid of some of that stuff before it's been fully digested. So regulating the movement of things through our digestive tract is also going to be important. Once again, handling by hormones, because these processes take time. It's a lot easier to do it with hormones than it is something like nervous innervation. Reproductive activities as well. So anything from sex drive to sex cell maturation, all of these kinds of things can be regulated via hormone as well. So it does a lot of things. So you need to be asking yourself, how do hormones work? What are the glands? What are they going to look like? How might they do these jobs? What are some diseases that you might be able to think of that could be regulated by hormones? You've probably met or know someone that is a insulin dependent diabetic, for instance. Okay, so these are all examples of things that we can think about or need to be thinking about when we are thinking in terms of our endocrine system. So if you have any questions about anything like this, please just let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.